Hey guys, Sully here, and I want to make a quick video and show you guys what I'm working on. Hopefully get some of your opinions on this, because to be honest, I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do with it. First, I'll just show you here in the editor what we got. This is made to work on any map, so you could like load this mission file up into any map and just pick the location of the bases, and then everything will work. Will just start up and work automatically. This is going to be like an RTS, like a Zeus versus Zeus, or possibly a Zeus like co-op mission, like a RTS. So that's one of the things I'm not really sure about what I want to do with it. But let's jump into the game, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, here we are in game. You can see, obviously, this is like a Zeus setup, but it's obviously a lot different. Right now we got a bunch of units here, but when you start off you won't have all of this. The plan is that you'll start, let's say, a certain amount of units, and like this is like the group leader, and then whatever the subordinate, and the group leaders are you'll stay with the entire time. And now they'll have XP and level up based on kills. Each group will level up separately. So now say you have a group with just the riflemen. You'll start out with everyone as riflemen. Then when the rifleman levels up, you'll be able to pick what he levels up into. Maybe you want him to be a medic or an engineer or a sniper or something like that. Then they'll level up, so you pick a sniper, your rifleman levels up to a sniper, he'll become that, and then also he'll have someone added to his group that's relevant to what it is. So obviously the sniper has the spotter here. And now their subordinates, when they die, they just die, and that's it. The group leaders, like I said, you'll keep the entire mission. So when they die, they'll probably be like in cap, and then you can go and res them, or if they finally die, then they'll respawn back at your base, but still the character will remain, and their XP will remain, and you'll be able to come back to base and like kind of refill the group. So maybe you have like you pick someone and he gets upgraded to all the way to like a team leader, and he has the four guys under him. Those 4 guys die, and then he's by himself. You'd have to send him back to base to re-up and fill his group back up. Now you see, obviously over here it's very, very different from Zeus. This is actually just a highly edited version of the Zeus interface. This took me way too fucking long to do, to be honest. But you can see here we just have the command menu. This is the build menu, which we'll get to. So obviously each Zeus will only have control over their own units. Over here you can see I have I moved like this original menu from the Zeus. I'm trying to eliminate that completely. So I have combat mode, the speed, stance, and fire mode, which is not even included in the regular vanilla Zeus. And also down here will be a lot of other things, like a target menu, and which will have, like, you could tell them to watch an area or to target an area and stuff like that. Also to change different custom waypoints, and then custom actions like you see in Ares or in Achilles, like to search a building or to find cover, or just to heal a unit or something like that. So eventually this entire bar down here will be all filled up. This area in the bottom left corner will be like a display for your groups or units selected. So if I select the group leader, then it'll give me like an XP. It'll be all basically progress bars. So we'll have like an XP progress bar, and then an ammo progress bar that's based on the initial loadout that you give them. And then if it's a vehicle, then it'll show like how much fuel they have and stuff like that. So on the bottom left will be displaying all the information on them. Now, take a look at the map. You can see, like I said, this automatically does everything itself. It takes all the locations and creates like cities based on that or whatever. And these are all run by independents. And then you have obviously the other player base up here. So the idea is that these independent areas are where you'll go to fight dudes and build up XP and build up your army before you actually wind up fighting the other player. These black dots you see here, this is all just debug. I'm not even sure really if I'm gonna use this completely, but basically these are all civs in here. I made this for something else, but I just threw it in here because it'll probably have like some kind of penalty for killing civilians, like a loss of XP, or maybe if my team was to kill civilians, then it'll like piss off the local populace, and then maybe reward the other team with units. Like since they become angry with my faction, that they go and join the other faction in order to fight me. But I'm not exactly sure what to do with that. That's one of the things that I'd like your guys' opinion on. Another thing is, the way this is set up currently, like even on the tiny map of Malden, like to play through this whole game with PvP, it would be like a fucking 10-hour game, and it's like kind of crazy. I don't know if it seems like it's a little too much, and it might become boring or tiresome. Maybe for PvP it should only be on smaller maps, or maybe it should be two Zeuses that are co-op against the independents, or maybe it's better off being a single player game where the other bit like this would be just like the head independent faction, and then as you get closer to them, each city gets harder and harder with more and more independent enemies to fight. Well, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that, so I'll show you very quickly what that's not where I want to go. Where do I want to go? Over there. So currently there's, I think there's up to 10 civilians in each area. You can see obviously like this only has a little bit because this only has one house and one job for the civs. So that's because it could only find one building. The jobs are just an area. Civs are programmed to set waypoints based on the time and also what kind of job-like buildings would be around, like shops or garages, fuel stations, stuff like that. And so if it's in like the middle of the day and you go into a city, you'll see a certain amount of civs at their jobs. But if it's the middle of the night, they're not going to be at their jobs. Everyone will be in their houses. So if you go and want to do a night mission, you'll just see enemies patrolling around and all the civilians will be at home. Now we'll go over here. Oh, I gotta send actually one of these dudes in here. I added a custom camera thing because the way Zeus works, you could set like camera editing areas. But if I was to only set the camera editing area here, then you obviously couldn't go outside of it. But also in a PvP situation or even in co-op, I don't want the player to move their camera all the way to the location without having any units there. It'd be kind of cheaty, you know. So we want the camera to stay at least close to a unit. So you can see here, if I go and try to leave, it'll bring me back to the nearest unit. Or if it can't find a unit, it will bring you back to your base. So let's see, where is this guy? Prowler. I'll send him up here so I can get kind of close. There's another thing that you could see the 3D icons popping up when you get close enough for the enemies. I put these in because in the beginning, honestly, it's without the icons from Zeus like this right here. It's really hard. You could sometimes be just unable to find a guy because he's like laying down next to a wall or something like that, and I don't want the player to have to spend 20 minutes just like scanning around for enemies and not being able to find them. It would be super boring to just try to find one dude just to capture the area. So I added these things. I messed around a little bit with like knows about and stuff like that, so you could maybe like they wouldn't show up unless my guy knew about them existing. But that's like to constantly call that all the time, and like the whole knowledge thing of like what a unit knows about another unit is pretty crazy, and like how it works and everything. And I just think it would be a little too much to be running that code all the time and checking it and then drawing the icons on each frame or whatever as the mission event handler. So I just leave them like this for now, but you guys can tell me what you think about that. Now you see here is a truck that we don't have in, like that's not it. We don't have the truck included in our Zeus. So what happens is once I take over this area, then this truck will become added to the Zeus, and I'll have control of it, and then I can put my units in there and drive it back to base. Now this truck has a variable set with different materials, not materials, different structures that I can build inside my base. So you take control of the area, you get rewarded the truck, you could drive the truck back to your base, and then you can start to build up and build defenses for when the other player, or in a single player situation when the AI comes to attack your base, you'll have better defenses. So I'm going to skip ahead right now. I'll kill all these dudes, I'll get rewarded with the truck, and then I'll come back to you guys. Alright, and we're back now. I turned the speed up, and I'm just about finished cleaning up these guys. We've got just 2 guys left. Let's see if we can get some more guys in here. Gonna have to add something like to disable the auto combat mode, so this way you can switch their combat modes more easily, and like, because right now these guys are in well, everyone's in combat mode, but it'll stop them from moving when you want them to, because they don't want to, just because they don't want to move up or whatever. And this guy might actually be a problem, because these buildings in particular, dudes always get stuck in here, like in this hallway right here. I think it's the path LODs right here, but always in this building. Oh, my guys are getting hammered right now by these 2 fucking dudes. All these guys in here. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is that which I'm pretty sure you can't do in Zeus, because once you click like this, it'll only select the one person, I think. Let's see. It's gonna make everybody crouch. Yeah, see, that didn't make everyone crouch, but with the way I have it, now everyone that I have selected crouched, which I think is pretty cool. So you don't have to go through every single group and set their things individually. You can set everything all at once. And it would be great if these dudes would move in. See, like, I just set them to safe, but now when I click again and check, they're already back in combat mode. Alright, so now it says city captured. Take a look at the map. Blue owns the map. And also, now I have this is added to my Zeus. And you can see outside the base area, it won't let you move anything. So we'll put these guys in here. So I think they won't want to get into a vehicle. Like, he's gonna like go around, even though there's no more enemies left. They still think there's a threat, maybe, so they'll take their sweet ass time and like checking corners and shit. So with being able to turn them unsafe, they'll just do what you tell them. See how well this guy drives. If he fucking, well, that's pretty good. He just went around. Oh, what are you gonna do? Where are you going? Just straight. Go straight, buddy. Come on. There we go. Alright, now this, for the building, I think this is really important, because if you were being attacked by another player and they were coming up to your base and you had the ability to move things, say, so like I have this giant area to build in, You could pick wherever you want and build up different locations. You know, maybe you want to put like a little roadblock over here and over here, obviously, to stop any vehicles from getting in. But say I split my stuff up and I have both areas locked off, and then I see that the other player is constantly sending dudes only from here, then I would be able to just like drag all my shit from this side over there and stack up that side, and I don't want to be able to do that. So I came up with this other system for that. So now the truck, I'll select the truck. See, it says building truck selected. I click the build menu, and this is like the inventory of the truck, what building objects we have. So let's pick the bunker tower, and we have this little icon here to show you where we're putting it. Obviously that doesn't matter because you can drag it around. So now we have this thing. We can put it over here, protect this road, and now you see the rest of the menus have disappeared. So now I confirm object placement. Don't worry about that, I just need to add that disable serialization to the script. But now it's removed from Zeus. So now once I placed it, I can't move it again. So if I see players coming up here, I can't just start moving tons of objects over here to block their path or whatever. So I have this set up, and I can let's see, let's take and also once another player gets close enough and they break this barrier, then the building will be removed completely. So if a player gets within the area, I can't just start dragging my dudes around and moving them around to fuck with them and basically cheat. But right now there's no players over here, so I could easily drag us around, put this guy up here, set him up, maybe make him crouch. And now this guy's defending this road right here from anybody coming in. Also to note is all the group leaders, like I said, the characters that are going to stay in the game and that you'll have throughout the entire game, will at the very least be able to remote control, but I'd like to be able to take full control of them as the player, so this way you can order your subordinates around, because with the remote control you can do most things, but you can't command units when you're remote controlling, so you're going to have to use unit switch if we want to do that. And I think that's pretty much it right now. Let me show you guys quickly show you the Civ thing. Let's see. Yeah, so this is a job right here. What is that? That's this shop right here. See, so this guy's like at work right now, and he will just constantly change waypoints to different building positions in here, so he'll just move around constantly in this area. And anyone that, I don't see any more civs, they're probably bugging out right now because there's just a bunch of gunfire around here. Any civs that don't have jobs, you can see there's way more houses than jobs. They will just rotate between going to the other jobs, like to simulate them going to the store or whatever. Yeah, there's a guy right here, but he's crouched and shit because he's in combat, I guess. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think. Hopefully you guys can tell me what you think. I'll leave a link to the start a forum discussion on the buy forums, and tell me what you guys think. Give me your opinions. Tell me what you think about it being a PvP mode, or even a co-op mode, or a single player. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot, and hope you guys enjoyed.